Hey everybody, back with another review for you. Of course, I just got home. It's been a really long day, but I watched Venom. And in case you need evidence, there's my movie ticket. So, boom. That had the price on it, didn't it? It did. That's not, people don't do that. You're not supposed to do it. Anyway, boom, collector's tub of popcorn. Boom. That's the kind of hardcore fan I am. Wore my hat and my shirt. I'm pretty hardcore. Anyway, not really. Even had a keychain. I got this recently. I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty cool. Look at how cool it is. Anyway, on to the actual review. So what did I think of Venom? Well, I'll tell you right now, my expectations were quite low. I had watched multiple reviews and things to go along with Venom. So, yeah, I heard, like, he was too goofy. I heard, it shouldn't have been PG-13. I heard that there wasn't enough action. I heard there was only, like, 3 action scenes. So I was expecting it to be, like, low on action. At least that's what Angry Joe said, because he said there was, like, most of it wasn't very, at least some of the action wasn't very good. And then I heard, like, some of the special effects weren't very good. All that stuff. What did I think of it? Of course, there's going to be spoilers, so be warned, it's going to be spoilers. That way I don't mess anything up and accidentally spoil it for you. That's how I do all my reviews. Sometimes I try to do half spoiler, half non. So yeah, without spoilers, what would I give it? What would I give Venom? I'd give it like a, maybe a C plus. I don't know. I personally enjoyed it. I did see there were quite a bit of flaws. I did hear a review that said it was like an old 2004 superhero movie. I don't know if I agree with that personally. But that's just me. I don't know. I mean, we've been getting a lot of these lately, so I can kind of see the comparison. Like, Marvel has their way of doing things. They've been doing it. They make good movies, so I can maybe see the comparison. Like, I personally think I liked it probably more than I do like most of the X-Men movies. At least like X-Men Apocalypse. That one was kind of lame. But yeah, we'll start off with like the good things. See, now I was expecting Venom to be really stupid and cheesy and dumb, like, because I heard everybody say, "Oh, it's PG-13, so there's so many dumb jokes," and he tries to be funny so all the time, and it doesn't work. I personally do not agree with that. I didn't think he like went. I was expecting like a lot more dumb humor, and to me it was a lot more subtle. I will say I watched Chris Piers, I think it is, the comic tropes guy. I'm sure all of you have probably heard of him. He's pretty popular. He's a lot bigger than I am, of course. And he's had Godzilla Mendoza do help with some of his videos. He did Spider-Man and costume and everything. So I watched his video on Venom, detailing all the goofy times that Venom was goofy. And I caught one of the things in the movie that I liked because he mentions that. Because honestly, I have not read a whole lot of Venom. I'll be honest with you right now. I've not read a whole lot. I've got, I think, I forget which issue it is, but I have one of the ones with the 6 different symbiotes. I don't know if it's the last one. It's got Spider-Man on the cover, and there's all the tentacles coming out. I probably have shown it off before. But I've got the first issue of Lethal Protector. That's all I've got. So I haven't read a whole lot. But he mentions that Eddie Brock never takes responsibility for his actions. And then in one of the scenes, his Annie, I believe it is, comes and says that, like, he is always blaming other people. So I thought that was a really good reference to it. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but I liked it. And then the action scenes are pretty good. I didn't like the the final action scene, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, I honestly I liked the chemistry between, like, Tom Hardy just did a good acting job. Like, he just carried the movie, I thought. He did a good job with his acting, and the symbiote, I think they played well off each other. Venom is interesting as a special effect, because a part of me, like, there were some scenes I'm like, okay, Venom looks really cool, I really like Venom, but then there were other scenes I'm like, okay, I can honestly say that doesn't really look like it's there. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I can tell he's not there, but other times I'm like, that looks really cool, but it also kind of doesn't. He looked like, I don't know if that makes sense or not, but like, I could tell he wasn't there, but I also really liked him. Like, because I feel like they did too much. Like, I don't know. So, yeah. I think just his performance was really good. Yeah. And again, I did think, like, I didn't think the humor was too awful. Like, I thought the humor was fine. I didn't, like, burst out laughing or anything, but it was, like, it was fine enough to where I wasn't, like, rolling my eyes or anything. The only line I didn't like was the turd in the wind joke. I thought that was just awful. I've hated that ever since I've seen the trailers. It's awful. The guy beside me liked it a lot. He thought it was pretty funny, but I personally did not enjoy it. So yeah. I liked the references. I didn't catch all of them, because again, I haven't read a whole lot of them, but I did see like a yellow symbiote, which is a Scream, I believe it is. So that's really cool to see her. I am kind of interested to see how it's going to go, because I heard it's like supposed to be a trilogy, excuse me. So, I don't know how they could. I feel like they could go a couple different ways. They could have the other, like, 5 symbiotes come back and fight Venom for the sequel, and then have Carnage as the last villain, and then have, like, Spider-Man show up and do, like, a big send-off, like, that way. Or they could have Carnage in the sequel, maybe throw in Spider-Man, and then for the end of it, because there's a mention of, like, all the different symbiotes, and from what I'm familiar with Venom, is there's, like, a big planet of symbiotes, and they could have all the symbiotes come in, and then maybe Spider-Man helps. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to help through the sequels or not. I don't know if Spider-Man's going to be in them, because again, this is a weird thing that Sony has going on. So we'll see about that. There was a lot of advertising for the Into the Spider-Verse movie. It looks entertaining. I'm definitely excited to watch it. So yeah, and it won my friend over, and he was not excited to see it at all because it's CGI, and that makes it less for some reason. I don't know. But he says he's excited to see it now, so that's good. So yeah, that's about everything. Again, I feel like it was mostly just like the performances were really good. That's kind of what kept me going. Yeah. I guess on to the bads. There was a few music selections I didn't like in the very beginning when he's when it's like the Eddie Brock introduction. I didn't like that. Some of the shots I felt like they held on for too long. I'm like, okay, we get the gist of it. I'm like, let's keep going. Maybe like the scene where it introduces Eddie, and it does like the video recording thing, if that makes sense. Like it shows like the Eddie Brock news show. I felt like that scene went on for too long. Maybe there's references in there I didn't catch, but I felt like it went on for too long. I felt like the villain was way too cliche. Like, he was like, just like, oh, how are your kids? And like, this villain is he's so villainy. Let's stop it. And yeah, There was a nice reference to Venom. I liked that. I guess that's not really a bad thing, but, you know, I'm just kind of trying to go through my head again. The final scene, the final fight. So that wasn't horrible. I thought it was fine for the most part, but like near the end of the fight, they just become blobs, and you're like, that doesn't look good on screen. Like I can't tell. It's like Spider-Man: Homecoming. Like you can't tell what's happening because everything's going so fast. Like Riot and Venom like just start like in the beginning it's fine because Riot's using his weapons and he's like clawing at Venom. That's fine. But then they just like are on top of each other and they're like mixing together and it's like okay, like I can just reenact this scene with two balls of Play-Doh and just mush them together. I can't tell who's winning or what's happening. So yeah, it was kind of cliche in parts, sure, but I honestly kind of enjoyed it. You know, like I'm not gonna say it was the best thing ever. There was definitely flaws, but for what it was, I thought it was fine. On to the big post-credit scene because I'm sure that's what everybody's gonna talk about. There's Cletus Cassidy, and Eddie Brock goes to interview Cletus Cassidy. Now, I really did not like who they chose to be Cletus Cassidy because it's Woody Harrelson. Now, I think he's a fine actor. I've seen him in a couple different things off the top of my head. There's Zombieland, Defendor, North Country. That's pretty good. So he's a fine actor. I haven't seen him in like some of his more iconic roles, but I've seen it enough. I like him as an actor, but he does not scream Cletus Cassidy to me. Cletus Cassidy. So that's kind of a problem. Because he's like in his face, you know? Maybe that's just a me thing. I'm sure he'll be fine in the role, but he doesn't like scream carnage. I mean, I guess it goes well with what they're doing, but I don't know. Yeah, that's about everything that I can think of off the top of my head. So, yeah. I know I said I'd give it like a C- probably, but it's just a weird thing, because again, I enjoyed it. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel, like, because I know there was a lot of people that are just like, oh, it's the worst thing ever, it's gonna flop because Spider-Man's on it and there's no connection or anything. I honestly just thought it was fine, like, it was an enjoyable movie, you know, like, because again, there are far worse movies out there, especially in the superhero category, like, it's not Catwoman, it's not Fantastic, it's not Batman and Robin, it's not Howard the Duck. Like, I think I almost probably enjoyed it more than, like, Thor the Dark World. I'll be honest with you. I honestly enjoyed it more than Thor the Dark World. I don't know if my score would say that if you go back and watch my Thor movie reviews. But I did. Because to me, again, the Thor movies are kind of boring. They're boring, and some of the jokes are just too, like, cliche and stupid. Again, I know I'm probably repeating some of the same flaws in there, but I don't know. I guess it's maybe more of a thing of, like, fanboyism. Maybe you could say that. So, yeah. That's my hot take for Venom. I know most of you have been dying to see my reaction, my review. So now I give you the privilege, what's what I'm looking for? The authority, still not the right word. The honor, still not the right word. I give you my permission, there we go, to go see Venom. Because I know most of you you've been holding off on seeing it because you've been waiting for my review. Because my opinion is that important to you. So I give you my permission to go see Venom. That was a joke, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. I'm not that narcissistic. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my review, then tell me you did in the comments below. You don't have to give it a like. You don't have to subscribe if you don't want to. But just a comment is good enough for me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next Orion's Comics review / video / whatever I do next. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So yeah, see you next time. Peace.